Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and today Apple released iOS 26.6 Beta 1. iOS 26.6 Beta 1 is available to developers, and iOS 26.6 Public Beta 1 should be out by the time you're watching this video, or hopefully tomorrow or later this week. Now this came in at 9.13 gigabytes, that's on my iPhone 17 Pro Max, and anytime you go from a public version to a beta or from a beta back to a public version, it's typically going to reinstall the whole OS, and that's why it's such a large install. Now this was released alongside many other updates with iPadOS 26.6 Beta 1, macOS 26.6 Beta 1, tvOS and HomePodOS 26.6 Beta 1, as well as 26.6 Beta 1 updates for watchOS and visionOS as well. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number and talk about what's new. So we'll go to Settings, then we'll go down to General, then Software Update, then tap on More Details and tap on the version. As you can see, the build number is 23G5028E, and this particular update doesn't have a ton of updates in it. However, we do have a new modem update. So going from 26.5 to iOS 26.6 Beta 1, hopefully we'll see some improved connectivity with things as there's been some issues for some people with signal and just general connectivity. As far as new features, well, there's no visible new features in this update, but it does appear Apple is working a lot under the hood of iOS. There's a code change throughout with Apple Intelligence, the kernel, and more, possibly some fixes to CarPlay and other apps as well. So it looks like Apple is working on things, but we're not seeing a whole lot of physical changes. There is a couple things I did notice right away though, so that has to do with messages. If we go into Settings and go back to our apps, within Messages, if we go down to RCS here, within RCS, there's end-to-end encryption. This is still in Beta 1, however, it seems to be working with carriers where it didn't work for me with 26.5. I had to turn off RCS messaging, turn it back on, then re-enable end-to-end encryption, and now it's working. And I've been testing this out, and you can see it now says text message RCS encrypted. So it does look like, of course, they're still working on that. The carrier has to enable it and allow it to work through Apple, but it works on the beta, at least for me. Let me know if more of you are seeing this enabled as well when you're texting someone that doesn't have iMessage. Also, there's something in the code that hints that if you've reached the maximum number of blocked contacts and you try to add another to the block list, then it could let you know that you've reached a limit. Aaron P613 on X found this, and the limit could be as much as 20,000 contacts though. Specifically, this has to do with the setting under your apps and then phone. So within your phone settings, you have your blocked contacts. And again, if you reach about 20,000 or more, it seems like it won't let you go past that. Hopefully Apple will fix this in future updates, but this is something that's a bit odd as I'm not sure how many people have 20,000 blocked contacts, but there could be a hard limit there. And of course it will let you know, just like it does if you reach a limit with Wallpaper. Many have been asking me, where is Siri 2.0? And I would not expect that until iOS 27. On Apple's developer website, you can see here that we have this logo, and many people suspect this will be what the new Siri look is. So this is something that would sort of activate when you activate Siri, and instead have maybe more of a dark theme with maybe this white or color that goes around it. So we'll have to wait and see what they have there at WWDC. Also, there were a couple splash screens. The first one I saw had to do with games, so I went into Games, I tested it here, and it says what's new in Apple Games, recently downloaded, and achievement and score updates. So that's the only thing I'm seeing here. I also saw one in Books, but only on the iPad. So going into Books on the iPad, it just wanted me to turn on notifications for it. So there was some hints with iOS 26.5 that we could have awards in the Books app, similar to how we have that with activities with fitness. So maybe we'll see that in the near future. So far, I haven't seen any ads within Maps, so I did test that out in Apple Maps, not seeing anything there yet. And that's actually going to be when you search for a location, it could suggest ads here, just like it does in the App Store. But again, I'm not seeing this yet. When it comes to bugs and bug fixes, well, there are still a few that remain, but there's something that they've fixed as well. They fixed an issue when a region was previously selected and how it will be applied. So that's something that you're really going to see under the hood. However, we don't have any specifics from them as they haven't updated their notes. If we go into the Feedback app, within Feedback under Recent Activity, you'll see it says there are no new release notes for this beta software update. So they really don't have anything to tell us here. It doesn't seem like it's a big update that way. Again, it's more under the hood fixes. So there was mentions of CarPlay. We'll have to see if that's fixed, and we'll talk about it in the weekend follow-up video. And also the Respring bug is not fixed. Specifically what I mean by that is if we go to our home screen here, tap on a widget, tap back, tap on the dots at the bottom, it will respring every time. I'm using the calendar or the weather widget rather, and it happens over and over. It's repeatable over and over. I've seen some people say it's fixed, but it's not fixed for me. So again, it's repeatable every time. When it comes to the wallpaper bug, well, we can see how vibrant it is here. Let's swipe home, and it says your system experienced a crash. So we can share that. As far as the wallpaper bug, you'll see here, it looks like it doesn't saturate at all. Maybe they finally fixed it along with maybe some other issues, but again, it's something I've complained about for a long time and I see no change whatsoever. So let me know if it's fixed for you, as it looks like it was fixed in iOS 26.5, but then it wasn't. But this seems much, much better. I see no transition whatsoever. As far as other updates this week or today, there was actually an update to the developer app, and you may have already seen it's not super smooth. After I reinstalled this, it just wasn't that smooth. We'll talk about that in a moment, but if we go into the developer app, within the developer app, they've mentioned that they've updated liquid glass, so they've improved that a little bit. They've also fixed some legibility with stickers. However, they didn't mention that, but you can tell if you use those in messages. And if we take a look at their release notes, you can see what's new here. They refreshed the look with liquid glass, list filtering by unwatched, bookmarked, and downloaded and preferred topics. Again, they improved readability of image capture during enrollment and bug fixes and various other enhancements. So that's been updated. If you have the developer app, make sure you update that as well. As far as other bugs, well, again, we'll have to take a look at this, use it for a few days, and talk about it in the weekend follow-up video. As far as releases, I would expect iOS 26.5.1 at any point. We thought it might be today, and typically Apple does not push out another beta after the 0.5 beta until after WWDC, so this is a bit of a surprise for us. But iOS 26.5.1 should be expected soon. MacRumors is also seeing it in their analytics, and Apple also stopped signing iOS 26.4.2, so all of those signs point at a new version very soon. Of course, iOS 26.6 Beta 2 should be expected as soon as either next week or a couple weeks away. I really doubt they would push it out the same day as June 8th with iOS 27 Beta 1, as we expect that there at WWDC. So typically Apple will have their keynote on June 8th, and then after the keynote is done, they'll usually push out the beta. So unless they change something, that's what we can expect. But it looks like we'll have quite a few betas this summer with iOS 26 as well as iOS 27 betas, of course with a public release in September around the iPhone 18 launch. Now, if you're wondering if you should install iOS 26.6 Beta 1, well, if you're waiting for iOS 26.5.1, I definitely would not install the beta, as you'll have to use a computer to downgrade back to it. But if you're wanting to check out the latest version and you have a secondary device, definitely try it out. It seems like it should be stable, but again, I'd probably wait for the public beta at this point. But it seems okay usually this late in the game with iOS. We're pretty safe as far as the betas go, and then of course iOS 27 is what will be less stable typically. But hopefully they improve that this year, but I again would not recommend installing it just yet. As far as the performance, like I mentioned already, I've seen some stutter. Now, as the phone heated up, I saw that it did stutter a little bit more, so it looks like it's still processing. And as far as heat, it's fine right now, but it definitely was quite hot earlier. As it installed a full update, it's processing in the background and indexing. So I would really wait a few days before you judge battery life and everything else. But as far as battery life, let's go ahead and go back into settings, battery, and then battery health. You'll see I'm at 100% capacity with 92 cycles. And on iOS 26.5, I was using that full time. And yesterday I had 4 hours and 14 minutes of screen active time, 4 hours and 48 minutes of screen idle time with 55% battery. It is improving for me, but it looks like it took a couple weeks for it to improve. Many people were not happy with the battery, so hopefully they push out 26.5.1 to fix that. When it comes to storage, let's go ahead and take a look at that under General and iPhone Storage. And on the left here, we have iOS 26.5, so we can compare side by side on the same phone, wait for it to load, and scroll to the bottom. You'll see iOS on iOS 26.5 is taking up 21.77 gigabytes, where it's taking up 22.12 gigabytes on iPhone 26 or iOS 26.6 Beta 1. So iOS is taking up 14.59 gigabytes, Apple Intelligence is the same. So we are a little bit larger here. Again, it's not going to use 9 or 10 gigabytes, it's going to overwrite the old software. And as far as system data, it goes up and down as needed, but I haven't seen it over 20 gigabytes at this point. Now I did run initial benchmarks. They're okay, 3,808 for single core, 9,833 for multi-core. Compared to what I had the other day when I ran it multiple times, it's actually a little bit higher and much better considering I just installed an update. So it looks like it's improving, but it hasn't hit 10,000 for multi-core just yet. So that's everything for iOS 26.6 Beta 1. Not a huge update. Hopefully with Beta 2 we get some more features, but of course all of those major features will be pushed to iOS 27 that we'll see in a couple weeks. Let me know what you're looking most forward to in the comments below, and of course I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.